Full Young and the Restless spoilers. Welcome back to our channel, soap fans. Today is a beautiful day to dive deep into the absolute chaos unfolding in Genoa City. We are so thrilled to have you here as we unpack every single jaw-dropping moment from the latest episode. Grab your favorite drink, get comfortable, and let's get right into the madness because there is so much to discuss. I cannot believe they actually went there with Patty Williams again. I am literally typing this at 2 a.m. because my adrenaline is through the roof and I just need to vent to people who actually understand this show. Like, are we seriously watching Patty try to murder Jack with a syringe full of Digitalis? And I just have to say it right off the bat, I am so incredibly sick and tired of Patty getting away with literal murder for weeks on end before anyone actually does something about it. I mean, I have been watching since 2015, and this has to be one of the most stressful, unhinged, and completely chaotic storylines they have ever done with the Abbott family. But wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's start with the absolute insanity at the police station and the hospital. So, Jack is finally awake. Thank the soap gods, because I could not handle another week of him lying in a hospital bed while Patty ran around Genoa City like she owned the place. And what is the very first thing Jack does when he wakes up? He demands to see Patty, because of course he does. The man was literally stabbed by her, nearly died, and now he finds out she tried to kill him again with a mysterious syringe. I was screaming at my screen when Detective James Burrow actually let Jack anywhere near her. Are the police in Genoa City completely incompetent? Rhetorical question. Obviously they are. And then we get this confrontation between Jack and Patty. I'm sorry, but Stacey Hyduke is playing this role so perfectly that it genuinely terrifies me. Patty is standing there, completely unbothered, being held by Detective Burrow and his backup officer. And she has the absolute audacity to hint that she did something to Diane. The smirk on her face, the smirk. Jack is standing there demanding answers, his voice shaking with that classic Peter Bergman rage, and Patty just gives him this twisted little look and assures him that they will meet again. No. Absolutely not. Lock her up and throw away the key. I cannot handle the thought of Patty escaping again. When they finally hauled her off to the police station, I let out a breath I didn't even know I was holding. But knowing this show, she'd probably break out of her cell by next Tuesday. So while Jack is dealing with the psycho of the century, we have Kyle at the hospital being the absolute MVP son. Kyle literally hands Diane over to the medical experts and is like, "You need to figure out what is in this syringe right now." I love protective Kyle. I know some people find him annoying lately, but personally, I think he shines when his family is in danger. The sheer panic in the hospital corridors was palpable. The doctors take the syringe, run the tests, and boom, Digitalis. I mean, Digitalis, are we back in the 90s soap opera era? Because I'm actually here for it. It is such a classic soap poison. The medical team realizes what it is and immediately starts pumping Diane full of medications to neutralize the toxin. The fact that Patty was running around with heart medication trying to induce a fatal heart attack is so dark. But thank goodness the doctors figured it out in time. Diane is going to make a full recovery, and honestly, she deserves a massive vacation after everything she has been through with Dr. Markham and Patty. Being locked in a padded cell and then nearly injected with poison, give this woman a spa day immediately. Wait, let me pivot for a second because I have to talk about Billy and Sally. Am I the only one who is so frustrated with Jill Abbott right now? Because I love Jill, she is an absolute legend, but her timing is always the worst. Billy is at home, trying to deal with his own messy life, and he has to tell Sally that Jill is demanding he fly to London to deal with their relationship issues and business drama. And Sally, bless her heart, just agrees. She is going through so much right now, and she just looks at Billy and says he should go. I kinda hate that Billy is even considering leaving town when his family is literally under attack by a syringe-wielding maniac, but that's Billy for you. He always runs when things get too intense. But right after Billy tells Sally about London, his phone rings, and it's Tracy. Oh my god, Tracy Abbott is the glue that holds this entirely dysfunctional family together. Remember when Tracy literally dragged Patty by the hair and forced a confession out of her a few days ago? Yeah, Tracy is not playing around anymore. So Tracy calls Billy and drops the biggest news of the week. Jack is awake and Ashley is back in town. Ashley is back. I literally cheered. I know Ashley was forced to come back from Paris, and I know she is dealing with the absolute nightmare of Abby and Dominic being kidnapped by Patty and Markham. But seeing the Abbott siblings gathering together just warms my cold, so loving heart. Jack is finally surrounded by his family. He has Ashley, Billy, Kyle, and Tracy all in his room. The dynamic between them is so rich and full of history. You can feel the weight of everything they have survived over the decades. They are all standing around, discussing the absolute scandal of Patty's syringe attack and waiting for updates on Diane's treatment. It was one of those classic Y&R family scenes that just makes you remember why you started watching this show in the first place. And then, the moment we have all been waiting for, the reunion. Okay, I need to take a deep breath because I have a lot of feelings about Jack and Diane. I know the fandom is completely split on them. Half the fans think Diane is a manipulative schemer who doesn't deserve Jack, and the other half thinks they are soulmates who have finally found their way back to each other. I usually bounce back and forth depending on the day, but today I was sobbing. Diane, fresh off being treated for literal Digitalis poisoning, walks into Jack's room. The relief on both of their faces was so genuine. You have to remember, Jack was in a coma because Patty stabbed him, and Diane was kidnapped and gaslit into thinking she was losing her mind. They have both been through absolute hell, orchestrated by the same crazy woman. When Jack looks at her, you can see every single ounce of guilt he is carrying. He starts apologizing, which is so classic Jack. He always wants to take the blame. He always wants to be the protector who failed. He is rambling about how sorry he is that he couldn't protect her from Patty, about the blackmail, about everything. But Diane just stops him. She looks at him with all this exhaustion and love in her eyes, and she tells him that she forgives him. I mean, wow, just wow. After everything that happened on that yacht, after the blackmail, after the kidnapping, she just forgives him. It was such a quiet, powerful moment. Diane admits that her heart just needs a little bit of mending. She isn't pretending that everything is perfectly fine. She acknowledges the pain, but she is choosing him anyway. And Jack, looking at her like she is the only woman in the world, promises that he is going to fix her heart. He tells her that he will spend the rest of his life making it up to her and mending what was broken. I cannot handle the romance. It was so cheesy but so perfectly executed. Peter Bergman and Susan Walters have such incredible chemistry, and they really sold the trauma and the relief of this reunion. It makes you wonder how long this piece can possibly last, though. Because this is the young and the restless, and nobody gets to be happy for more than 3 episodes. So what happens now? Because Patty might be in police custody, but she still has Markham out there, and they still have Abby and Dominic. Ashley is back in town, and we all know Ashley Abbott is a fierce, unstoppable force when her child is threatened. I am predicting an absolute war between Ashley and whoever gets in her way. If the police can't get Patty to talk about where Abby and Dominic are, you better believe Ashley is going to take matters into her own hands. And honestly, I am here for it. Let Ashley go feral. Let her tear Genoa City apart to find her family. And what about Victor? We can't forget that Victor is lurking in the background of all this Genoa City chaos, stealing Nikki's company out from under her while she is drugged up. The contrast between the Abbotts pulling together in a crisis and the Newmans tearing each other apart from the inside is such brilliant storytelling. But back to the main point, the syringe scandal is hopefully over. Diane is safe and neutralized from the Digitalis. Jack is awake and ready to fight for his marriage. Patty is in handcuffs for now. Please, dear God, let her stay there. And Billy is probably going to fly off to London and leave Sally alone while she is dealing with her own massive trauma. Which is a whole other rant for another day, because I am so mad at Billy right now. I know some people are probably rolling their eyes at Diane forgiving Jack so easily, but honestly, when you have both almost been murdered by the same woman in the span of a few weeks, it really puts your marital issues into perspective. Life is short in Genoa City. 1 minute you're arguing about a kiss, the next minute someone is plunging a syringe of heart medication into your arm. You have to grab happiness where you can find it. I am so invested in where this goes next. Will Jack and Diane actually get some peace? Will Kyle finally get a storyline that doesn't involve him just reacting to his parents' drama? Will Tracy get the massive Medal of Honor she deserves for carrying this family on her back? I guess we'll have to tune in tomorrow to find out. Let me know in the comments if you guys were as stressed out by this episode as I was, because my heart rate is still not back to normal. Until next time, stay restless.